The greatest common factor. Remember that the factor are the two numbers that you multiply. So we are going to be figuring out common factors for numbers. So let's say we have 12 and then we have 26. So the first thing we need to do is list all the factors of 12. We have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Then I think of the factors of 26. I have 1 times 26, and I have 2 times 13. If I'm looking for the greatest common factor, common means that it has to be on both sides, it has to be the greatest, meaning the largest, and it has to be a factor. So, I see that 1 is on both sides, but I also see that 2 is on both sides. 2 is the largest factor that is common, so 2 is the greatest common factor, or GCF. Let's think about the greatest common factor of these two. So the first thing we want to do is list the factors of 33. So 1 times 33, 3 times 11, very good. The factors of 15, 1 times 15, and then 3 times 5. What would be the greatest common factor between these two numbers? That's correct. 3 would be the GCF. Let's look at one more example. Here we have 21 and 15. Let's start with 15. What are the factors of 15? 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. Very good. Next, we want to list the factors of 21. What are the factors of 21? That's correct. 1 times 21, 3 times 7. So if we look between these two numbers, what is the greatest common factor? So the GCF would be 3. Now, the least common multiple. Remember that multiple refers to skip counting. So we are going to be looking for the least or the smallest common way to skip count between two numbers. So let's say we have 8 and 6. I'm going to skip count by 8. I know that I have 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. I'm going to stop there. The next thing I'm going to do is skip count by 6, or find all the multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. If we look at these two lists, I can see that I have a common multiple. Common meaning that it's on both sides, and multiple meaning that we can skip count by these numbers. So 24 is the least common multiple. Let's look at 5 and 8. Let's skip count by 5s. Help me out. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Since I'm out of space, I'm going to stop there. Now let's find the multiples of 8. We have 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. Very good. So the least common multiple, common meaning on both sides, least meaning it's the smallest one possible, would be 40. Let's look at 2 and 10. Let's list all the multiples of 2 that we can think of. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Let's go ahead and stop there. And then let's look at 10, 10, 20, 30, 40. So, if we're looking, we need to find a common multiple, but it also has to be the least common multiple. That's correct. 10 is the least common multiple. Now you try.